In the last video, we looked at the effects of sleep deprivation, but maybe this question remained unanswered. If sleep deprivation is harmful, why is it that I'm okay now, even though I've been deprived of sleep in the past? In this video, we're looking at just that, how we recover from sleep deprivation. There are three related things that we're looking at: sleep recovery patterns, REM rebound, and microsleeps. We'll start with sleep recovery patterns. Now, generally the effects of sleep deprivation are temporary, and the human body is an amazing thing, meaning that we don't need to make up precisely the amount of sleep that we lost. For example, if we lose 8 hours of sleep one day, we don't need to sleep for an extra 8 hours the next day. Generally, we will sleep a little longer in order to make up for lost hours, but the amount of extra time we sleep will depend on individual differences, such as age and the type of sleep that has been lost. That is, whether we lost NREM sleep or whether we lost REM sleep. Now that's a brilliant segue in our next topic, REM rebounds. If we are deprived in particular of REM sleep, we may experience a REM rebound. If this occurs, our sleep will have a greater proportion of REM sleep than usual. As such, we are likely to dream more, and more intensely than usual. And lastly, there are microsleeps. You've probably experienced a microsleep, but you may not be aware of it. Microsleeps are very short periods of time in which we sleep during otherwise wakeful behaviour. Microsleeps are a big risk to long-distance drivers who may not be aware of their sleeping, because microsleeps are largely unnoticeable. Perhaps you have seen a sign like this on the road. Now that was an extremely brief overview, so don't be concerned if you didn't grasp all of that information. But now we have a general understanding of these concepts. Let's have a look at a practice question. This one is from the 2012 VCAR exam. In this question, there is a case study which reads, sleep researcher William Dement ran a study on healthy adults. For 5 nights, he woke volunteer participants every time their EEG showed beta-like waves. On the 6th night, participants were allowed to sleep uninterrupted. And the question that we need to respond to, worth 2 marks, is identify and explain the likely sleep recovery pattern which would occur on the 6th night of this study. Angus, what would the mark allocation be here?
There are 2 parts to this question. You need to identify something, and then you need to explain it. That means that there will be 1 mark for identify the likely sleep recovery pattern, and then another mark for explaining it.
Thanks, Angus. Just as I expected. Now, from the case study, we know that the participants were woken every time they had beta-like brainwaves. The only stage of sleep that has beta-like brainwaves is REM sleep, so we can use that to work out what type of sleep recovery pattern will be present. We could write something like this. The likely sleep recovery pattern is REM rebound. The participants have been continually woken when they have beta-like brainwaves, which suggests they were in REM sleep at the time. This means that they will have been deprived of REM sleep. We also know that on the 6th night of the study, participants were allowed to sleep uninterrupted. So we could add, on the 6th night of the study, participants were allowed to sleep uninterrupted. Due to their lack of recent REM sleep, it is likely that a greater proportion of their uninterrupted sleep would be in REM, as opposed to NREM sleep. There are more practice questions on sleep recovery patterns, REM rebound, and microsleeps below, so have a go for yourself. Keep working hard and see you soon.